Good morning, Brutal Planet listeners. This is Joey here. I'm ready to do an interview with an incredible musician many of you know and love. Guitarist and songwriter Keith Wallen has played in several rock bands over the years and is currently the rhythm guitarist and backing vocalist for Breaking Benjamin. He has co-written songs with Saint Sonia, Red, and Fuel, and has been releasing his own solo material since 2014. His newest single, Dream Away, was just released on January 28th. Keith, thank you so much for being willing to share with us. Where are you calling from this morning?
I'm in Tennessee. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So COVID, the last year, it's been a difficult year. The last live show I saw was here in St. Paul, Minnesota. You guys played with Korn. Your tour ended, I think, right before the lockdown, didn't it?
Yeah, it was, gosh, we got it done just right there in the nick of time. Never would have expected anything like this to happen.
No.
I mean, in my lifetime, it was pretty hard to predict. Obviously, there were some rumblings about, COVID kind of, in China and it kind of, traveling. But we never would have thought that it'd be so bad as it got. So
yeah, we always think a problem is over there and it's never going to come here, and then all of a sudden it surprises us.
Right.
But so obviously you've been recording over the last year. But what else have you been doing during the lockdowns, quarantines, all that?
Yeah, obviously working on a lot of music. It's one kind of positive thing that I've taken away from this whole kind of lockdown thing is just there's been more time. Honestly, a little too much time for my liking. Much rather, things be, at a normal, things be going on in a normal way, just so everyone can, play shows and, of course, fans coming out to shows. I'd love for that to be normal, but just trying to work on music as much as I can. And, exercise, I feel like I've pretty much, at this point finished Netflix because of, there's been lots of time on our hands, but, and other than that, just trying not to go crazy because, the four walls kind of start to close in on you after a while.
Yeah. Yeah. He gets stir crazy. So just for maybe listeners that don't know who you are or don't know your backstory, you grew up in a small town in West Virginia. Can you just give us a quick story on how a small town kid became a rock star? Like what's been your journey?
It's so funny. I've never been a fan of that word rock star, and I still don't even consider myself that. To me there are plenty of musicians out there that obviously they love what they do and they're incredibly talented at what they do, but when I think of a rock star, I think of just these huge artists, and I definitely don't consider myself up to that level, but hey, I've worked hard over the years. I've been determined to kind of stay in the game and work away at it. So I'm definitely just happy to be here. But yeah, there was lots of years growing up where for a while I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I know that I like to play guitar, and there in the early days in West Virginia, I never really kind of decided that I was going to try to do this professionally full time. It was a little bit after I moved to Tennessee where I really was just like, why not? This I love doing this, and I started my first band Copper with my best friend, and we kind of, that was when the first little seed of belief was kind of planted, we kind of were just like, maybe this could be something, obviously this is going to be, not just anybody makes it in this industry. So, but it was cool. You have that little bit of hope and a little bit of, determination to see how far you can take this thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, West Virginia though, I really didn't know what I was doing, what I was going to do. I knew that I wanted to eventually get to Tennessee and go to school there, which I eventually did.
Okay.
I was kind of ready to get out of West Virginia. I kind of I don't know. I was kind of ready to kind of escape
Yeah.
the kind of small town feel of everything. So, and then
Yeah,
I moved to
I grew up in small town Wisconsin, and I still consider it home very much.
yeah.
But there was always that I just want to go out and see the world.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I definitely felt that too. It took me a while to eventually kind of see the world because what I was going to say is like I wanted to leave the first small town, but then of course I just moved to a different, a little bit bigger of a small town. So it was kind of funny.
Yeah, oh, that's great. I'm sure you are still inspiring many garage bands and kids and stuff now to pick up the guitar and do that. So well done on your career. Where do you draw your inspiration from? Like, is there anything like outside of music that you just connect with that really inspires you to write, or where does that come from?
Yeah, gosh, anything and everything, anything
Mm-hmm.
I can. Lots of times, it's hard to kind of come up with concepts for songs. Guys, everything's just been done, by this point in time. So it's hard to kind of come up with new, interesting ways to say the same thing that's already been said. So, anything. Yeah. I mean, I really love movies. I love watching movies. I love just being able to just escape, just kind of turn the brain off and just kind of go into this other world and, just kind of live in that point of view for a while. So, I don't know, maybe I get some inspiration from that. I mean, obviously I love, all kinds of movies, so the imagery can be really inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Oh, cool. Your writing process for your solo material, tell us how that comes to be. Like, do you just sit down by yourself, or do you collaborate, or how do you do it?
Yeah, either or.
Okay.
I enjoy writing with other people sometimes. There's always the phrase, two brains are better than one. Lots
Mm-hmm.
of times that's the case. You get stuck on a certain lyric or a certain thing, and somebody else might come up with a great idea that kind of gets you out of out of the block for a second there. So
Yeah.
so that's cool, but primarily I'm usually by myself, just sitting there racking my brain trying to come up with the right stuff there. Yeah, sometimes it's easier than others. Other times you got to sit there and kind of basically, like I said, rack your brain and try to get something done that feels right and feels, listen to it, feels like it's something that you like. I've definitely written a lot of crappy songs in my day. So it's one of those things. I feel like it's a muscle that you have to exercise.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the more you do it, the hopefully the better you get at it. So
yeah, I know when I do photography or something, people say, "Oh, I love that photo. How do you get such great photos?" It's like, well, you haven't seen the 200 bad ones that I deleted. So
yeah, totally. And I mean, sometimes you just get lucky. In my case, sometimes for whatever reason, whatever I'm thinking about that day, it just happened to just fall in line with, something I was writing, and it just worked. And I was like, man, I don't know if I could have written this, yesterday or the next day or tomorrow or whatever. It was just the right time and place for these thoughts,
Yeah, that's the magic of the, creative outlets. You got to hit the right time and right inspiration. But
for sure.
So when you record, Keith, do you do all the instruments yourself, or is that when you hire other musicians in, or how do you do that with the recording?
Well, see, yeah, look, I I do as much as I can. One thing that I've tried to kind of do my whole career is I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, and I try to surround myself with as many talented people as I can. Just in hopes that I'll earn a little bit of that talent from them and learn from them.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny whenever I'm doing demos and stuff. Obviously, I do everything myself, but I just feel like there's way better players than me. I mean, I can't play drums. I had my good friend Joe Rickard. He was gracious enough to record all the drums for the album, and he's also the producer on the album and co-wrote a bunch of the songs on there with me.
Okay.
Super talented, great guy. He's been a drummer actually in Flames. He used to play in Flames and Red for a time. So he's kind of moved on to other things, producing, mixing. So really great working with him. And also Aaron from Breaking Benjamin. He was gracious enough to lend me his talents there for the bass duties.
Oh, okay.
On the album. So, but everything else was me, and yeah.
Well, that's good that you can do a lot of it yourself, but work with friends.
Yeah, it's helped tremendously, especially with the recording process, because there's just I feel like I'm pretty good at making a demo,
Mm-hmm.
enough to kind of get a song idea down and for pitching purposes and stuff, but for a real competitive production and sound, I gotta get my more talented friends to help me.
Yeah, well, it's turning out great. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Dream Away, your last single here. Now I don't always like to interpret lyrics, but I'm just wondering, was the lyrics from that song kind of stemmed from this last year?
Yeah, what's funny is a lot of people have asked me that question.
Yeah,
and the lyrics really do fit the profile for just just kind of wanting to escape and all the isolation of everything. But it really wasn't. I wrote it actually before the pandemic happened.
Oh, wow.
And it just turned out to be just kind of prophetic of things, which was kind of surprising to me. It wasn't my intention, but I was like, man, later on during the pandemic, later on in the year, I was kind of listening to the mixes. We were going through the whole mixing, mastering process of it, and I had to listen to these things and listen to the songs and kind of get them to the next level. Anyway, I'm just listening to these lyrics. I'm like, man, these really do just kind of, describe what's happening. And even one of my friends that I'd kind of sent the song to check out, he brought it up to me, and I was like, wow, you're right. This is crazy. So it's interesting, but no, it was written beforehand.
Okay. Well, prophetic and then perfect timing on the release. I think that's what we all needed after a year of this crap. So,
thanks.
Yeah. So you got your first full length album coming out sometime soon. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, well, it's I'm trying to get it out for the spring, late spring. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's my first full length album. Under the solo artist moniker, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm super excited. I think before I've kind of I had an EP a few years back, and I've kind of slowly but surely kind of released singles here and there. They were basically just songs that in between tours that I wanted to just kind of get out and keep working, so I wasn't just kind of sitting around between the Breaking Benjamin stuff. And this time I really just wanted to release a full album. I've had a few fans reach out and be like, we want an album. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I'll do it. I'm like, I'll do it. It's like I want to do it. It's not that I don't want to. It's just trying to manage the timing and
Yeah.
you know, all that. So scheduling and but you know, so but I was really determined last year when we went on a break to really get this done. And
Yeah.
even still, we had that last tour, um, in January, February. Obviously, we got done in March, like you were saying, right before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
But even during that is when I was tracking Aaron on tour.
Okay.
So yeah,
Wow.
so that was a fun experience. Just kind of sitting there. I would basically set up in the dressing room, and yeah, it was cool hanging out and watching him do his thing. He's super talented, so I was very grateful for that.
Yeah. Well, your EP and your singles, they get played in our house quite a bit. There's not too much overlap in music that my wife and I like. So Keith Wallen gets played a lot downstairs.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So the full length album, is it all original songs? Are you going to do some more covers, or what do you got on there? If you can say anything.
Yeah, these are all original. Yeah.
Okay.
The cover songs, they're fun. For me, it's one of those things. I don't know. I love music, and it's fun, kind of putting your own twist on things. But no, this album's all original songs, and yeah, I'm super excited for it to get out. Some of the other singles that I put out have been just different styles. My first EP was kind of more relaxing piano, kind of chill kind of thing, and then some of the other songs were honestly probably a little bit more alternative and pop than what I'm kind of used to doing. But it was, like I said, it was a fun kind of thing, just kind of experimenting a little bit. That's the great thing about just kind of having a solo kind of thing. You can kind of do whatever. But at the end of the day, I just was like, man, I'm a rock musician. I've been in rock bands for over 20 years. I'm like, I really want to do this and bring the rock back a little bit. Granted, it's not super heavy, but it's what I'm more
experimenting a little bit is going to make you a better rock musician.
Yeah, I agree. It was cool to come back to my the rock roots there. I guess.
Yeah. Well, your cover of "Shallow." Well, the first time I heard that, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, is he going to hit those notes?" And he nailed it. So, bold move, well done.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
Trying to figure that one out. Yeah.
Well, it turned out great. Let's see here. You recently worked with Love and Death and co-wrote a song for them, and I'm thinking it's coming out tomorrow. What can you tell us about that song?
Yeah, well,
with Brian.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. So we've been working on those songs for a few years, kind of on and off.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's been a few songs that I've been a part of on the writing side.
Okay.
Including their first single, "Down," which has I don't know. I've been absolutely just thrilled to be a part of this album and this project. I really love all those dudes. Jason, of course, we're in a band together.
Right.
We've worked on a few things over the years, and just super talented guy, great friend, and I was super honored to be asked to kind of be involved with this, and I've gotten to know Brian a little bit over the years, and he's amazing. I mean, Korn is such a huge band, and he's such a kind human and incredibly talented, and he's been through a lot in his life, so it's just super inspiring to just see someone like that that's just such a good example of how you would want to be in just in life and just as a musician. So it's been an honor to be a part of it. But yeah, there's a song coming out, I guess tomorrow, It's called The Hunter, and I'm the featured vocalist on it.
Oh,
so,
you're doing vocals as well. Okay, I didn't know if
yeah,
it was just guitar or if it was vocals or what. But okay,
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, and there's a few other songs on the album that we've all kind of written together and stuff. So I'm
Okay.
just excited. I'm excited to you know have that stuff come out. Like I said, it's the pandemic has been a tough year, and there's been lots of different projects that we've all kind of worked on, and so it's cool to kind of see it finally come to fruition and come out. So
Yeah, that's cool. Any Breaking Benjamin news that you can share with us? Tours maybe later in the year or something, or don't you know? New music, anything?
yeah, I really don't know about the touring situation. Obviously, we're the fingers are crossed for the world to open up to more of a degree, to enough that bands can start playing shows again. And we're looking forward to that too. Obviously, we had a huge tour booked for this past summer that had to be canceled, but so we're you know just hopeful and optimistic that things can kind of get back to normal. And I mean, obviously, whatever is the most safest thing, as long as we can get back and it's safe for everybody. Right. So we're waiting for that. And as far as writing and stuff, we're always writing. It's one of those things where it's a constant thing. We all kind of live in different areas of the country, so we're used to just kind of sending ideas back and forth. And but yeah, I don't really have any definitive timeline of anything, but it's all in progress. And
hey, just giving us hope that you guys are still collaborating, and it's all good.
Oh yeah, no, it's of course, and we're all just managing our lives during this weird time, and working on our own projects at the moment, and just trying to stay positive, and it's been great to just this is the most time I've been home for a while, so it's trying to take advantage of it, I guess, also.
I think that's the silver lining that's been on this dark cloud for the last year, is just like, which one of our favorite musicians or bands are going to have material soon. Like, they're all sitting at home, hopefully writing, but all right. Super random question for you. I think you're a big Metallica fan, aren't you?
I do like Metallica, for sure.
All right. So I wanted to ask you, if you were on tour with Metallica and they said, Keith, we want to invite you out to play for 3 songs of your choice. One's from the 80s, one's from the 90s, and one's post-2000. What 3 songs would you pick to do live with them?
Oh, my God, dude. I can't even imagine that scenario. I'm
throwing it out there for you.
That scenario is so just science fiction to me. It's not even funny. Gosh, I don't know.
Well, let's dream away. Let's dream away and just what's the first songs that come to your mind?
Oh man. Well, first of all, I would not want to be playing guitar.
Okay.
Because that's a little too fast for me. Gosh, man, I don't know. I've never been asked this. This is a very interesting question. It's tough to choose.
Gosh, I won't put you on the spot then. I knew you were a big Metallica fan, so I thought, hey, I'm just going to ask you, if this dream ever happened.
Yeah,
you got to choose. What would you do?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know. I really don't. Because all of them are so different. All of the different eras of Metallica.
It's almost like different bands, but
it is, and there's a different voice.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously James is James, but gosh, the difference between Kill 'Em All and Black Album are
right.
Just even Master of Puppets in the Black Album. His voice is it's just a lot better. The older he gets, but Yeah, that's a tough one, man. I have no idea.
All right. Well, I'll pick that one up next time I talk to you.
I appreciate it.
So you got plans for the Super Bowl Sunday here?
You know, gosh, in any other given time, I'd either be on tour and we would just, you know, get some pizza and wings and just, you know, all get together and watch it. It's so sad, man. I miss my family and my friends and my music family so much. You know, so usually, you know, the Super Bowl is one of those times where it's like, oh man, we all got to get together and you know, watch this. You know, I love football. I love sports. I love watching it. So I'm just gonna watch the game. I'll probably just you know, get a pizza delivered and just hang out by my lonesome and watch it. Yeah.
Well, so. I'm a little sour because my Packers got kicked out of the conference there. So,
which was
I'm sick of seeing Tom Brady in there again. But
yeah, you know, it was surprising. I thought because Green Bay looked unstoppable for a while there. So, but it's just, you know, everybody told me is like you can't bet against Tom Brady. You know.
No, I knew that going in there. I'm like, oh, please give Rodgers protection so he can score.
I know, yeah. It was the same kind of thing now with Kansas City. You know, God, if I were a betting man, I would say, hey, look, you know, Mahomes and the Chiefs are unbelievable, but do you want to bet against Tom Brady? You know,
right.
It's really a split. I just don't know who's going to take it.
If you had to guess, that's my last question here. Prediction: who's going to win?
It's just tough. I mean, exactly like I said. I mean, I guess I would maybe give the edge to the Chiefs just because they're the defending champs. Mahomes is a dynamic player. Andy Reid is an amazing coach.
Yeah.
So maybe if I would have to give someone the edge, I would say them. But man, Tom Brady, he's got the experience. I mean, the 10th Super Bowl. Which is just incredible.
So that's a rock star, Keith. He's a rock star.
There we go. Yeah, exactly. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, those kind of people. Yeah, they're rock stars for sure. But I don't know. It could go either way.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're right. I hope the Chiefs do it because I don't like Tom Brady anymore. He's the best of all time, but I'm just sick of him. So
yeah, it's funny. It's you know, because I'm you know, I went to Tennessee. I went to University of Tennessee, so I've been a huge Peyton Manning fan for years.
Yeah,
and you know, I followed him from the Colts to the Broncos, and you know, Tom Brady was his like number one rival.
Yeah.
So I've always just been like, God, I hate that guy, and I've always been, you know. Kind of what you're saying. It's just like, you know, sick of them being around, you know, with the Patriots and everything.
Yeah, just retire already.
Yeah, but you know, it's one of those things where, you know, you see interviews with the guy. I'm like, man, he looks like a great dude, you know, and a stand-up guy, and I have nothing but respect. You know, it's kind of like, wow, man, and look at him. He's 43, doing the things he's doing. It's pretty remarkable.
It's incredible. Yeah. All right. Well, Brutal Planet listeners, there you go. Dream Away was just released last week. It's an incredible song. I'd encourage you guys to go out and buy it, actually. It's been played in my house dozens of times. Just great musicianship. Great job, Keith.
I appreciate it, man.
So listeners, check it out. Show your support. Keith, thank you so much for your time today.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Looking forward to hanging out with everybody once things kind of get back up and going.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye.